Hi, I'm so glad you're here. If you're looking to save money, you're in the right place. We are living in challenging times when it comes to keeping your finances under control, but I've got 10 easy ways you can save money starting today. Number one is stop doom spending. And by doom spending, I don't mean spending all of your money because you heard that the apocalypse is coming. Doom spending is connected to your money mindset, which is basically your attitude towards money. This is so important because it has a huge impact on how you budget, how you pursue earning more money, and also how you avoid debt. Doom spending is where you feel that you don't have enough money to make it worth saving. You feel like you can't save a meaningful amount every month, so there's just no point even trying. So instead of saving, you spend all of the money you earn because you figure life is too short. The trouble with this is that when a rainy day hits, you may end up overspending and ultimately end up in debt. There are so many positives to saving money, even a tiny amount. Largest one being the freedom from stress of not being able to cover an emergency bill or a sudden cost. And you're probably not going to work forever, so saving for your future and thinking about what lifestyle you want when you stop working may sound boring now, but genuinely once you get there, you will be so grateful that you did set money aside for that future. Future you will thank you, assuming the apocalypse hasn't come by that stage. One great way to break free of doom spending can be to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of what longer term investing and saving can do for you, even with just small amounts. For example, if you save just $50 a month for 10 years with an interest rate of 5%, you could have over $7,700. Let's say you invest it instead and manage to achieve a return of 8%. Then you could have $9,200 after 10 years. Now increase that to $100 a month, and after 10 years, you could have over $18,400. If you can up it to $500 a month, then after 10 years, you could have over $92,000. Now, obviously, guys, I'm talking in dollars here. Same principle with interest rates applies if you're saving in pounds. And what if we double the savings term to 20 years? Well, this is where the magic of compound interest kicks in and you start making money on your money in an incredible way. If you save $500 a month for 20 years, then you more than double that money to nearly $300,000 simply by finding $500 a month to invest for 20 years. You don't have to save $1,000 a month in order to make a difference. If you save a few hundred a month, instead of spending it, you'll make money on your money. And if you spend it, you'll have stuff that chances are you won't necessarily still love 10 years down the line. Moving on now to tip number 2, and that is to stop budgeting. Yeah, you heard me right. Stop budgeting. Hear me out. If you hate budgeting and it never works for you, stop trying. It's time to change your systems. Look, one of the first things at the top of every single how to save money list is set a budget. What it should also be saying is set a budget and stick to it, because the act of just setting a budget isn't enough. What if you sit down with great enthusiasm to allocate every single penny of your income into specific categories, but then at the end of the month, you not only overspend, but you haven't managed to save your target amount. You never managed to save what you planned to because your budgeting plan went awry. There's no point in having a budget if it never yields positive results for you. You just end up feeling deflated. In this case, you need to switch goal setting for a whole new system. Instead of being focused on a big savings goal, change your focus to making small changes in your spending habits. Those habits may include paying yourself first, so that means having a direct debit set up for payday so that the second that your income lands in your account, you are paying money into your savings. That is a priority in your monthly spending habits. Another might be setting spending alerts on your bank account so that if you're at risk of spending too much in a category, then it gives you an alert so that you know to curb your spending a little that month. Another good habit to get into is to automate payments for essential bills wherever you can. Shop your kitchen before going to the supermarket so that you're not overspending money on food. Be really, really strict on meal planning and ensure that you're using up every single bit of food that you have spent your hard-earned money on. Introduce a waiting period, such as a 48-hour waiting period before you buy anything new. And also write yourself a list of the things that you need this year and only purchase things off of that list. Label anything else as an impulse purchase and aim to avoid impulse purchases. Number 3, focus on clearing debt. One of the biggest obstacles to saving money is debt. It holds you back in so many ways and it can just be soul destroying as well. Owing money now means that you have even less later because interest rates mean that ultimately you will have to pay back more. It also takes away your freedom. It stops you from fulfilling dreams such as the special holiday that you wanted to go on, or buying the house in the new area that you'd like to move into. If you're in that situation, then formulate a plan for how you will free yourself. And you don't have to do this alone. There are charities out there that can help you formulate a plan for paying off debt. They do this every single day. They've seen absolutely everything. They can advise you on a step-by-step plan that will help free you from the debt. And once you are clear of debt, or if you already are, then focus on setting up an emergency fund. Even just getting like £1,000 in there to start with is a really, really good starting point. That emergency fund helps you to avoid debt because you've got that money there just in case the unexpected happens, such as your car needs a repair, or the boiler needs replacing, or you need a roof repair. 4, stop spending to look rich. A lot of excess spending is all about how we want to look to other people. It's the keeping up with the Joneses mindset, and we can all succumb to that. A lot of us are in a bit of a rush to have a bigger house, better car, more frequent holidays, more luxurious holidays, just what we perceive to be sort of visually a nicer lifestyle. Looking more affluent may make you feel like you are living your best life, you're living a better lifestyle. However, the reality behind it can be very, very different. Allowing lifestyle creep to kick in places way more burdens on you and your budget, creates a lot more stress, and also puts you in a situation where you're kind of on a knife edge, whereby if an emergency bill comes in that you're not prepared for, the whole house of cards just kind of falls down. One way I have tried to avoid this trap is by practicing intentional spending and increasing my quality of life intentionally. That means I'm avoiding lifestyle creep, so I'm not spending just to sort of project this vision of a certain type of lifestyle that I might be living. And instead I try to maintain modest spending habits that are well below my means. Intentional spending means making conscious decisions with your money, staying focused on what you actually need, and prioritizing what truly brings you joy. Number 5, do a low spend week every single month. Crash budgeting, just like crash dieting, is problematic because it's just often not sustainable. It's not realistic. And often you can start off full of motivation for this journey and then get really demotivated, lose your mojo, find it too hard, and you revert to all the same old habits. Any change needs to be a sustainable change. But aggressive saving can be really, really useful, particularly if you have a very lofty savings goal. So in order to make aggressive saving periods more manageable, keep them into short bursts. Try just 1 week per month of no spending. So obviously you're allowed your essentials, you've got to eat, so you're still going to spend on food, you're still going to fuel up the car so that you can get the kids to school and yourself to work, but you're not going to spend on the non-essentials, so meals out, takeaways, brand new things that you don't need. And that leads us on nicely to the next tip, which is to ensure that you have a balance. In order to be better with money, you don't have to wear clothes until they are rags, never go out with your friends, never buy anything new, and drink nothing but water. Frugality isn't about never buying anything, it's about prioritizing and being intentional. It's about balance, and it's about making sure that you can afford the things that actually really mean something to you without falling into debt. So you ditch impulsive spending, but you don't ditch all spending. You decide on what really matters to you, so you make a plan to afford it. Now that may mean cutting back on other areas, but once you've realized and accepted the things that are real priorities in your life, that actually becomes very easy. For example, maybe getting your nails done every few weeks is a treat that you prioritize because it makes you feel great. It's not a need, but it's something that does something special for you. So in order to facilitate that, maybe you sacrifice something else, such as like a daily takeout coffee. It's just all about finding the balance that works for you. Number 7, do it yourself. Cleaning the house, basic repairs, DIY jobs, painting, ironing, laundry, these are all things that you can do yourself. You don't need to pay someone to come into the house to do them. I'll give you an example of something that I'm seeing crop up quite a lot lately, and that's people creating their own fitted wardrobes in bedrooms using IKEA furniture, and they finish it off really, really nicely doing it themselves. They put beautiful door handles on there, they stain the wood a special color so that it looks like really, really nice. It looks like a luxurious finish, but it's an IKEA cupboard, and they don't pay someone to come in and design them for it. They do it all themselves. They build the base, they do all the finishings, and it costs like 20%, 10% even of the prices that they've been quoted by bespoke fitted wardrobe makers. Tip number 8 is to borrow, don't buy. If you need a new tool for a specific job around the house, or maybe an outfit for a very special occasion, instead of rushing out to buy the brand new thing at full price, why not see if you can borrow it first? Look for friends and family who you could borrow or swap key items with as part of a regular arrangement. You could maybe even do this within your community. Sometimes groups like this already exist in your community. Look for Facebook groups that are maybe facilitating this kind of thing already. Another option is to rent instead of buying, and you can do this with all sorts of different things. You can do it with stuff like handbags, shoes, designer clothes, garden tools, cleaning apparatus such as carpet cleaners. This can work out way cheaper for you, particularly with a job that you know is only a one-off or maybe only something you're going to do once a year. Number 9 is to be adaptable. As human beings, we are often predisposed to just hate change. But being adaptable in uncertain times, such as what we're in right now, with high interest rates and very high inflation, means that you're able to make the changes necessary to ensure that you come out the other side unscathed. In this current cost of living crisis, an adaptable person makes changes to their budget in order to make sure that they are living below their means. An unadaptable person continues spending as they always have, even while the cost of energy bills, fuel, their rent or mortgage skyrockets up. This leads to overspending, and then when the crisis is over, it means that they may also have debt to contend with. And that just makes everything so much harder. And my final tip is such an important one: being content with what I have. I absolutely love this quote. I make myself rich by making my wants few. And what this means to me is that there's very little that I actually need in order to be happy. When I realized this, it helped me to spend less, save more, and grow my wealth. We are bombarded by adverts and pictures of people's fabulous lifestyles all of the time, and that can cloud our judgment and normalize spending excessively. When we think about what we really want in life, it's actually pretty simple and probably doesn't involve the latest sports car. Although obviously, you know, if you're a petrol head, it's nice to have. When you think about what your real priorities are, it very rarely actually includes stuff. For me, I want my kids to be happy and healthy, and for me to live a stress-free life in a safe place. One of the most important things I ever did to adjust my spending habits was to remind myself to be content with what I already have. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe for lots more money saving tips from me.